Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Ninja Warrior podcast. Tonight is probably the most exciting night of them all. It is finally time to cover American Ninja Warrior Season 13, Episode 1. It's been almost a week since it's aired. We are just covering this on Saturday, and you're going to see it a couple hours before Episode 2 airs. But we are covering AW 13, everyone! It just seems unbelievable that the time has finally come to where we are finally gonna cover some new ninja, not just like stuff that's like 6 months old at this point. No, like new actual Ninja Warrior. It doesn't feel like it's been this long since we've had a normal season, but now that we're here, it's like hallelujah. Yeah, for sure. And basically speaking, let's just go into describe this episode in one word. If you want to go one word, let's just go. Shocking. That's a pretty descriptive one. And that's spoiling. If you call an episode shocking, that's practically spoiling the entire thing, but that is basically how I would describe this episode too, because we had like all the main veterans fall. Like only 2 veterans finished this course. Yeah, when you think about it there, that is just crazy. The other 3 finishers, and by the way, there were only 5 finishers. The other 3 finishers were rookies, part of the newer age group. And it just doesn't seem correct. It doesn't seem right that the newer generation is dominating. And I get that. You know, these ninjas have been cooped up in their homes. They haven't been able to do the show in over a year. And they haven't been able to, and this is the first anniversary on the adult show. And we've already set up about how all 3 of us don't personally, we don't mind the 15-year-olds actually getting to compete. We think it's a little too young. They get a shortcut while the people in previous seasons had to sit there for like 6 years waiting to get on the show. Oh, but, you know, it's not that bad, you know. Oh, but I think it's definitely worth it just to see these kids just play around. Yeah, but they were excited that, you know, we can get on the show, you know. And all the big AW Junior veterans from the 13, 14-year-olds, those are the people who got on the show, and those are the people who are going to stay on the show, you know. Yeah, these people, they're probably going to compete for years to come. But let's just get into the episode this way. We're done rambling. Hopefully. But anyway, yeah, let's start off with the opening movie, which they are really trying to sell out the 15 to 17-year-olds here. Yeah, the entire opening movie was just full of the rookies. And they talked about how old they were, 15, 16, and they saw all these junior ninjas coming to the real show, and it still doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel right how we have 15, 16, and 17-year-olds competing in Ninja. Literally a couple years before they should have gotten their shot. Yeah, so the fact that the entire intro is just layered with them, like we don't see many of the veterans in the intro, but at the same time we do see a couple of them, like we see people like Mulaski and stuff. Like the biggest thing that popped to me was Grant McCartney and his beard. Yeah, that looks out of place to me. Like, I don't like Grant as a competitor or as a character in general. Just that beard does not make him look good, honestly. It just kind of sticks out, and you're not expecting, like, he's never had a beard. He's always had this shaved face. He's always had this upbeat, jokey guy that, well, we don't personally like in particular, but, you know, he's fine. But then he just pops out with a beard, and it just, to me, it just doesn't look right. Yeah, I definitely see what you mean. It's definitely something to get used to. When I saw it, I was personally like, can this please be photoshopped? What, you hoping it's special effects? Yes! Because he doesn't look good with it. At least I don't think so. I mean, you guys let us know in the comments what you think of Grant's beard. But personally, to me, it doesn't look good on him at all. But, you know, it's not like it's a problem or anything. I bet you like the big story about Grant this season, when we eventually get to see him, is gonna be that beard. I am so curious how he would have gone into that much. I mean, yes, it's been like almost just under a year when this was filmed, but still. Yeah, but anyway, Wait, let's get to the obstacles of this course, which were something, that's for sure. Yeah, we have overpass, which is basically a much easier version of the wing chaser. Yes, it is. It's basically just a ball that's running around, and the shade, it might be long, but no, only one person failed it, so really, it wasn't really all that hard. And none of these ninjas really had a hard time with the obstacle. The ball probably should have went farther, honestly. Like, there was a giant piece of track that was not used. I think it's possible they might just flat out remove, make it go farther for the city semifinals. I would be okay with that, but the fact that it just stops, like, halfway makes it so that, they're just making the obstacle a lot easier. Yeah, once again, similar to the women's competition, well, they're not certainly in Dignity 6 with this episode. I feel like for the older obstacles, they might do some modification to try to make it easier for the younger kids, even though they're competing on the same course as the adults. You know what I mean? I guess, but I don't feel like there'll be that big of a joke, but, that they might, I don't know. But, anyway, after that, we have the big one, split decision. We've already said a bit about this obstacle. If you didn't see that episode, it's almost episode, just go check it out. Just go check it out. It was a previous episode uploaded last week, and we just talked about it there, as it was the big new change. This time, the split decision was domino effect and the spinning log. Now, to me, talk about this one in particular, this version of the split decision. Who here thinks that the split decision, like, who would pick the spinning log? Okay. Why would the spinning log be the smart decision here is probably the better question. Yeah, I see your point there, because, like, the dominoes are a hell of a lot easier than the spinning log, and spinning log is a big ninja killer in the Kansas City finals. It took out people like Towers of Power and Ethan Swanson, and it took out more people than Domino Effect did in terms of who went on it, and even just looking at it, I'm like, why would you go for that? Because the dominoes look like they have a better chance of you surviving them than the spinning log. I might be wrong. Again, we're not on these obstacles, so I don't know how difficult particularly difficult these obstacles are. But it's just that from the look of it, from just us watching the show, it just looks like they'll. It looks like the dominoes are way easier than the spinning log. But I am glad they showed a fair amount of each obstacle, and they showed a fair amount of people filming both. So at least there was some kind of difference there. Yeah, for sure. And after that, we have Tipping Point. What'd you think of this one? I say it was an interesting take on a similar obstacle from AW10, the doorknob drop. It's a kind of similar to where it has a drop in between it, can knock you off, but Tipping Point wasn't really much of a ninja kill. We only took out a couple of ninjas, well, actually, I'm not going to say anything, because we're going to go over them. Yeah, exactly. Alright, but anyway. Nothing really too special about Tipping Point was for us. The big one here is V-Formation. So, what'd you guys think of this one? Definitely, dynamic. Oh, yeah, for sure. Because, this obstacle, it started off with a kind of like a push-up thing with the hook. You basically have to hook it up 3 hooks and get to the top. And then you have to go to a transition, cliffhanger grip thing, and then head over to a spin-out pavilion, where you can either skip these one on the right side and just go for the ball, on which a couple people did, and then you have to go for the other one on the right for the dismount. It's a very tough obstacle. This is a cool way to differentiate the old spin hopper, but it is really hard. Yeah, it goes to the point to where it falls back. Hourglass drop flashbacks. And it's not only this obstacle, the episode as a whole is going back to the Venice qualifiers when AW7 were barely anybody cleared. Yeah, as this course had the lowest amount of clears ever. on a Ninja Warrior course in terms of the qualifiers. Yeah, we've never had a course that had this little quiz. Season 7's Venice, that had 7. This one, we had 5. And as we mentioned earlier, 3 of them were Wookiees. That's the majority, so... Just the fact that there were so little, and even then the Wookiees took the majority, that's just crazy. Yeah, for sure. But, anyway, after that, we have the Warped Wall with the Mega Wall, of course. Same rules as always. I kind of wish the Warped Wall got more spotlight. Yeah, because only one runner actually tried it, period, at least from what we saw. I believe there was one cut one who did. I believe, from what we saw. Oh, but, you know, it kind of sucks that only one person tried it, because, like, once again, just like last time, they built it up. I'm glad they kept on building it up, like someone was actually going to try it and beat it. But, it barely got any use. Again, only one guy actually won it. Yeah, I bet we are going to see some people beat it in the future. Qualifiers, like, there are 5 qualifiers this season, not just 4, so... There was more of a chance someone could beat the Mega Wall, and we could see someone hit that 10 grand, which I would definitely love to see. Yeah, last season there was only 3 people who did it, and there could have been a lot more, so, you know, I really do hope we get to see more people get to the top of the Mega Wall. Oh yeah, for sure. And we've already spent way too long wagging about the obstacles themselves, so I think we should just get into the ones. Oh yeah, definitely. Which starts off with freaking Kid Awadi. Yeah, at this point, you might as well just say this. We don't care about the kid. Yeah, you can't really say that the kid competed this season when he ends off on the 3rd obstacle, split decision, and a lot of people will probably rate this as like a shocking fail. But for me, I don't know about you guys, but for me, because of how early this was in the episode, I knew for a fact he was going to fail. Like, I knew for a fact. It would have been nice if he, like, went to, like, the 4th or 5th obstacle. For the 4th obstacle, he probably would have qualified anyway. But, because he was first, I practically knew he was going to fail. And, because, like, one thing that goes through my mind is the fact that there are some ninjas who have gone really early and still did really well, but there's only been one instance to where a ninja went first and did the 5th obstacle levels of good. Yeah, exactly. So you can see why I thought that, you know, the kid would fail, and he did. He fell on the 3rd obstacle, split decision, and he chose a spinning log, which I was like, kid, that's an idiot move. Why would you choose a spinning log? And the thing is, it's like, I don't know how it feels, the spinning log feels compared to everything else. I've never tried it, despite me actually doing ninja. So I don't know how hard the spinning log actually is, but to me, again, it just looks harder than these domino effects, which looks easy compared to it. So honestly, I don't get why people want to pick the spinning log. Maybe it's faster, but honestly, I don't see the difference in terms of speed. Yeah, but anyway, the kid unfortunately fell on spinning decision, and we're going to move on to the next one. Sophie Shaft, one of the stars from American Ninja Warrior Jr., who is now 16, and on the course, she did really well. Yes, she had a story about her playing the piano, being a musician and all that, and talk a little bit about CrossFit training and stuff. But the bigger bio was obviously on AW Jr. That we saw a lot more from her in her relationship with her little sister. But then there is her one, which was pretty good actually for a Wookiee. Yeah, she made it all the way to the 4th obstacle, tipping point for missing the transition to the side. Still a really good one, and she did move on to the women's top 5. Yeah, she made it through the top 30 as well. So again, top 30, because of the way this night worked, people who made it to the 4th obstacle still qualified. Yeah, a couple of them. So that is why she still made it to the top 30. So even if that rule wasn't in place, she would have still moved on, which is good. Yeah, for sure. But anyway, after Sophie Shaft, we had a little bit of a preview of what we had next. And we don't usually mention this, but can we just mention the effects here? On this one, yeah. And they're trying way too hard to entice you. The ending had Matt punching Aqua with a POW thing from like a comic book, and like from then point on, I realized that they are just trying way too hard to entice the younger demographic. Oh yeah, what? Yeah. Well, yeah, I see what you mean though. Yeah, they don't really need to over entice. They don't need to go over intense it, but they're doing what they want and what they think will entice them. Yeah, again, because like over the years, Ninja has lost viewership, so I think they're trying to get that back. But whether they're gonna do that or not just depends. Yeah, but anyway, after Sophie Shaft, we actually had the Bagpipe Ninja Victor Huff in a fast forward segment. Yeah, this was definitely a unique take on what you could do on a ninja course. I miss this stuff, man. And because like last year we had almost no antics. I get that probably wasn't allowed all that much, but there was so much more when it came to antics, even just in this episode alone, and this was one of them. Victor Huff stepped onto the playing field to play his bagpipes, which is a Scottish instrument, and to me personally it doesn't really sound all that good, but it works. Yep, it would be a kind of fun instrument to play, but it isn't really all the best instrument in terms of sound, but they try to make it work. Anyway, he fell on overpass, and then we also had China Hot. China Hot ended up falling on the domino effect on split decision. Yeah, but then we had probably the weirdest one of them all from Ernesto Perez. Yes, 100%. Ernesto Perez, he had a story about him having a weirdly shaped nose, and because of that, he got bullied a lot in school, and so he dressed up as freaking Flybird on the course to try to defend his position. And okay, I was bullied a lot as a kid too, and I do support this kind of behavior stopping. Not like it will, but I'm fine with it and everything. But this guy, he doesn't really make an impression on me, honestly. No, like the first thing I thought of when he stepped onto the point, I saw his costume. I'm like, "Welcome, vegetable man." Wait, that's what you thought his superhero name is? Might as well have been. I mean, doesn't he look like a carrot? I guess. I mean, if you look at his costume, which you probably have a picture on screen of, it kind of looks like it would be like for a vegetable man. So I guess you're not wrong on that tangent. I wouldn't go with that. Anyway, he fell on tipping point, and after Ernesto Perez, we had another shocker in the form of Sam San. Yes, we haven't seen Sam San since AEW 10, but for some reason he came back on here to compete, and this was a pretty shocking showing. And honestly, I'm very glad for the guy. I'm very happy for the guy, and it was mentioned about his new girlfriend, and apparently, I guess this means that he either left his wife, she's dead, or, got divorced. I'm doubting it's the divorce because, well, obviously, it's the type of thing you may not want to post on social media. There was nothing we've really seen from Sam Sanders' wife that would really want a divorce. So, it's possible they might have just broke up and had their separate ways, or that, or that, she's straight up dead. And obviously, they wouldn't mention that unless it's supposed to be like a key story point. And I'm doubting she's dead, too, because, I mean, look at Sam said. They would have had a story about that here. Oh, yeah, for sure. Always next time. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, they also mentioned how his new girlfriend had a brain tumor a couple months ago. And similar to Thomas Stoics. And I do feel like that's the reason why they brought him on. But we will see for the future, as he did not have a segment about it. But I bet you since he moved on to the city finals, he will have one of those. Yeah, for sure. But anyway, as evidenced by what we just said about him moving on, he fell on a V formation. And he was the first to get to the spin hopper version, part of the obstacle, to where he fell on to where he skipped the second one, just went straight for the third, and honestly, it really doesn't look like you're supposed to do that anyway, but that's the point. He fell on the final jump to the final hopper, and, well, he fell, that's why he fell. and he did move on. Yes, thankfully. And at the same stand, we had Emmanuel Acquad in a fast-forward segment. He, along with Ken Singletary, both fell on split decision, going on a quad going for dominoes and a single mandatory going for the spinning walk. We also had a fast forward of Ken Singletary of Wade Loop. Yes, Wade Loop. He ended up making the right decision and made all the way to V formation before falling. And after him, we had Adam Nades, the Space Ninja. Adam Nades, there was a little segment about him looking at NASA and all that. And let's talk about Matt in a space helmet, going like...
Well, on the start pad, ready for takeoff, it's the Space Ninja, Adam Nades. Over. Do you copy? Looking to take one small step for a man, one giant leap for an aerospace engineer, Space Ninja.
And he was talking about him, and it was kind of like a funny thing, but I feel like you can tell that Matt wasn't having a fun time doing that. Well, okay, I can't really say that specifically, but, you know. Yeah, you can really tell if he's enjoying it or not. That's basically what you're saying, right? Yeah. But anyway, Matt is seen, doing his thing, talking about him and all that. Well, Adam Nades went all the way to V formation and fell there on the third hopper. And and after him, we had Tom Mortimer. Tom Mortimer, he had an amazing save on split decision where he just barely survived between the winning pad and the final domino effect. But after he made it past that, he made it to a tipping point and fell there. Yes, after him, we had Gloria Alta, one of the competitors off of Abel Gonzalez's team from last year, who fell on the first obstacle. She was able to conquer that this time, and then fell on the second, getting overpass. And finally, we had Cody McLeod, who fell on split decision. And that's all we have to say about him. Yeah, and after him, we had Elijah Brownie from AW Junior, another one of the 16-year-olds. He became the first athlete to complete this course. Yes, this was very well wanted. It was a little way in deep, so we're about half an hour in, and I was really excited to see him finally see him and him see someone complete the course, and I'm glad it was Elijah Brown. Yeah, he did really, really well. Definitely. And after him, we had probably the funniest one of them all, Evan Papelas. Yeah, this is probably the earliest fail we've ever seen in this show's history. Like, probably the fastest one we've ever seen. Yes, he fell on the very first obstacle, sliding steps, on the second step. And this was just hilarious to see. Yeah. Yes, I was literally laughing my ass off seeing that. And after him, we had Maui Simpson, who fell on Switzerland, and Jade Buffer, who ended up moving on. But just seriously, the fact that we had a guy fell on the second striding step, I mean, that's just laughable. Yeah. And after him, we had Jonathan Horton, one of the elites. It's one of the legends who has never made the Vegas. Yes, and they were talking a lot back that heel, and you'd think, he was like to make it to the fifth obstacle or complete this course, But he instead makes it to tipping point and barely miss out. Yeah, thankfully he did still move on to 26th spot, so he still went to the city finals, but it kind of sucks that he ended up, he ended up not actually doing what he wanted to do, technically speaking. Yeah, I'm doubting he wanted to fall in the fourth obstacle. Well, no one wants to fall, period, obviously, but the fourth obstacle is a little disappointing considering it's Jonathan Horton. Yes, definitely. And after Jonathan Horton, we had Isabella Wakeham. She's another one of the ninjas who was able to take advantage of the lower age requirement. And she did really well. Yeah, she had a segment with all about her older brother, Isaiah Wakeham, who got on the ninja and basically talked about the relationship together and the relationship as a family. And after the little story, Isabella made it all the way to V formation and was the furthest of all the women we saw won in this night. Yeah, she made it all the way to V formation. It was a really impressive one. I'm so glad to see her in the city finals and on the course here. And I do hope we get to see her later on. Yes, for sure. It was a really amazing one as we saw. And after her, we had her brother, Isaiah Wakeham. He ended up falling on V formation, literally the exact same spot. And we had one more star from AW Junior in the form of Nate Pardo, who did really well in the first season, and what did he do as well in the second season? Still was known as one of the legends. And then we also had Kristen Yost. Both of them fell on V formation. And then we had the return of Barclay Socket. Yes, Barclay Socket. He had a story about her mother dying in this past year. Yeah, and we had a big thing about that. It was really long, and one of my frustrating to how long it was, but it was fine. And then Barclay shockingly fell on Overpass. Yeah, I think I got him. I might have, exceeded my volume meter in terms of my shock value on this, on her falling right here. Yeah, she barely missed the ball. Like, she got both hands on it, but then one of her hands popped off, and she obviously couldn't hang on. Kind of sucked that was how we turned up going, but it's just good to see her back on the course and able to recover from what has happened to her in the past year. Yeah, she already said she wasn't going to compete in this even before the pandemic, so it was definitely a good thing to see her come back to the course. And what she didn't do well, at least she got to be there. Yeah, definitely. And after her, we had another fast forward segment with Ben Wilson starting it off. He fell on split decision along with Christy Brophy and after Wes Maddow. Yes, but after all of those ones, we had another one of the stars from AW Junior, Jonathan Godbell, come out and complete this course. Hell yeah! Jonathan Godbell, even though he was the slowest finisher of them all, still did really well. Like, just completing this course was an impressive feat on its own. And because of that, he got to move on to the city finals. Yeah, I kind of wish we had more to say about him, but honestly, just the fact that he completed this course is just the impressive part of the one. And after Jonathan Godbell, we had Ruthie Bolton in a fast forward segment. She is a basketball player, another Olympian, and she ended up falling on the sliding steps. After her, we had Vinny Castrova, who was one of only 2 veterans to actually complete this course. And it kind of sucks that he got fast forwarded. Yeah, and if you start to notice the pattern here, there were way too many fast forwards here. Like, there was 10 in this. Like, we got 1 full one, then another fast forward. Like, seriously. Show us more full ones. Especially, show us more full ones. I mean, I get that. There weren't many clears. There's not as much to show off. But still, there were way too many people who were being fast forward. Oh, yeah, for sure. And then, after those 2, we had Kenneth Doden, who had a story about him being a foreigner. And he also stepped on the course to chop some wood, which he did. He really did chop some wood. And he ended up falling on V formation, just missing one of the hoppers, and that was that. Yes, after Caleb Dowden, we had John Lopi, 69-year-old John Lopi. He had a real bit about him asking the younger generation, Elijah Bonnie, and another competitor, to get off the course. And it was a kind of funny bit, but it was playing way too much in the stereotypical, old people, mean people. Yeah, it's a little of an annoying treatment, but anyway, he ended up falling in the very first obstacle, the sliding steps. And then we had, unfortunately, Joey D'Aurelia. Yep, this was a very sad one, as she fell on a split decision, and she was not able to move on, unfortunately, which kind of sucked. And then we had Lindsay Escoldson, and who is one of the mom ninjas who made it all the way to V formation. Yes, she made it all to V formation, and she actually had a one release before the episode. Yeah, that's where the older picture of Split Decision came from. Before the episode aired, we had that picture because her one was posted, and that was a picture that Ninja Wiki provided, so we just used it. Not even knowing she was going to be on the course or anything, but, she was, and she did pretty well. Yes, and after her, we had Lane Sailing. He started off the one with kicking the football all the way to Split Decisions water, but he didn't even make it there as he fell an overpass. Yeah, I was honestly thinking he would kick the ball where he would actually fall, but that did not end up happening. But still a pretty good kick. And after him, we had, unfortunately, Thomas Stillings. Yeah, this wouldn't be a problem in itself because he was late to the episode. I thought, he would complete this course, so I expected the V formation to move on. But unfortunately, he was one of the many to fall in Split Decision, meaning he did not move on to his season ended right there. That would suck. Yeah, definitely. Then we finally had Jeremy Clark, who was another one of them, who made it to V formation and fell there. And finally, we had the first and only 15-year-old who won this course. We had Isaiah Thomas. He was talking about how he was the youngest ninja there. I'm talking about AW Junior and stuff. But he ended up completing this course, having the fastest time tonight, and being the only one we mentioned. The only one to try the Mega Wall, as we mentioned earlier. Yeah, after him, we have one final round of competitors, starting with a fast forward of Nate Burkhalter. Yeah, I found it really shocking that they invited him, of all people, back, but regardless, he made it to Overpass, and then we had Abel Gonzalez, who made it to V formation. Then we had Jody Avila, who completed the course, being one of only two veterans to do so. And then we had the final runner of the night, Daniel Gill. This was the big one right here. Daniel Gill, it's a big star. He won last year's season. He was second place in AW11, and he was expected to at least try the Mega Wall and complete this course with the fastest time, but unfortunately that did not happen. He ended up shockingly falling on V formation, and it definitely was a big shocker. Yes, for sure. The fact that Daniel Gill fell early, it's like Adam Ware's fall from a couple years ago. So he fell on the fifth obstacle and he still hasn't been able to come back. Yeah, he did in AW12 as well, so kind of sucks that happened to him twice, and Daniel Gill, it just happened to him now. Yeah, thankfully, because luck was on his side, he was able to still move on. In the 7th spot, he still moved on to the finals despite falling on V formation. So his season is thankfully not over, but it was still a huge sucker. And with that right there, that wraps up the base episode. But we still have 10 cut ones. We have Brian Burkhart, Alex Bick, Ryan Meeks, Cole Variable, Josh Newton, and then Carmen Shelby, Dan Wentworth, Brian Bilgemeyer, Caleb Benson, all flying on V formation. All were cut. The only two names that I can recall are both Brian Burkhart, who is a veteran from the previous seasons, and janitor Josh, who was a janitor at J. Goes Iron Sports Ninja Gym. Yes, and the final cut ninja was Colby Tickleton, who just barely made it to the 30th spot on the leaderboard, falling on tipping point. And with that right there, that is episode 1 of AEW 13 covered. Yep, in 36 minutes. Today was a big one. We had a lot to talk about, we had a lot of opinions to explain, but we have done it. Today, we have wrapped it up. We have talked about first episode of AEW 13, and we're waiting for another one. We still have a couple of days to wait. Yes, but I do have some news to talk about for you guys. So, about the new Ninja season. Starting tomorrow, the day after this video airs on Tuesday, I will start releasing highlights of each of the episodes. The 2 ones a day at least, depending on how many I feel are worth highlighting, and maybe more. But at least 2 a day, as long as I can keep it up. But that will only last until July, as on July 5th, I am taking a 2-week-long vacation across the South to places such as Washington, D.C. and Orlando, Florida. And because of that, I won't be here to do the podcast with them. So we are not doing AEW podcast for at least 2 weeks, but probably 3, depending on how I feel. Yep, so that's that. So you'll still get uploads. You'll still be uploading new montages and all that, like, every Saturday, you said? Yes, I'll be uploading a new montage every Saturday, so you'll still get 1 video per week. But just know that I won't be covering new ninja stuff during that time. I would appreciate if you guys don't spoil the episodes during that time as well. I'm going to try my best to avoid it, but in the comment section of my videos, I would appreciate if you guys don't spoil AEW 13, period, but especially when I'm gone, because I won't be able to watch the episodes. I want to quickly catch up if we can. We will do 2 episodes in 1 episode of the podcast. It will be extra long, I know, but it's just so we could quickly get them off. And that way you'll have 4 ones per day. And we will quickly catch up and we can get back to business. Yes, but I just want to let you know about that. If you see weeks that I'm not uploading stuff, it is just because I'm on vacation. Do not spam me with people saying, why haven't you uploaded this? I haven't uploaded that. Please, I'll get to it. Please just know that I am going to be on vacation for a little while and I can't upload anything. I'm just going to have the time of my life. Alright? Is that cool? Hopefully. Hopefully it's fine with the viewers. But anyway, with that is going to conclude this episode of the Ninja Warrior Podcast. And next week, we are covering episode 2 of AEW 13. Yes! Time recording is hasn't aired. Time you're watching this probably has, but maybe not. But either way, this is so hype!